Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calsters.
And today is Sunday, November 13th, 2016. This is episode 269. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're new, hopefully you enjoyed today's show and you'll come back in the future. So it's been 2 weeks. Not 3, but 2.
2.
I did that backwards. I always do that. Always. Little known fact about me.
Let it go.
I cannot speak a number and portray a number on my fingers and have them match. Never happens for me. Anyway, so hopefully you all have had a good 2 weeks. There's been a lot of rigmarole going on in the United States in the past couple of weeks, specifically the last week. We are not going to touch on that here on this show. That is not what this forum and outreach is for. But I hope that at this point some of the stress can start to settle down and that you can turn to your knitting to help you do that. So, all right. Past 2 weeks in review for myself. I have been busy teaching. I need Thanksgiving break to be here now. I have another full week of work and then only 2 days. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. I did not get last Friday off for Veterans Day. We observed that the Wednesday before Thanksgiving so that we actually get a 5-day weekend, which I'm okay with. My school year is progressing very nicely. I'm actually moving through the curriculum faster than I've been able to in the past. So I'm hoping to cover more material than I've been able to do in the past, which is good. So that's good on that front. I had a little bit of shocking news this past week. We have been dealing with some home repair issues. The down and dirty of it is we hired people to wrap our windows and doorways with aluminum because the wood on our house is rotting. It is a very old house. It's over 125 years old, about 128 years old now, almost, so closer to 130. It was built in 1888. So the wood is rotting, and so we wanted them, to replace what needed to be replaced and to wrap the windows and doorways. We also tacked on adding new attic and basement windows, and we had an initial contractor come out through this company, and they were like, nope, we can't do it. And we're like, what? And there was some lack of communication on the part of the company. They sent out a new contractor a week later, and they replaced the basement and attic windows and then called us to tell us that they could not wrap the windows or doorways, which is what we needed done. So we had a rather intense sit-down with some higher-ups in the company yesterday, and after negotiations and conversations, we have come to the decision that we are going to be siding our house, as well as getting the windows and doorways wrapped here in the next month. So this was something we were hoping to put off till next year. Needless to say, it's happening this year, and so I'm hoping that it will all work out. We're putting trust in this company once more based on the discussions we've had with, like I said, some of the higher ups yesterday. So we'll see where that goes. This project is going to be a total transformation of our house. So I'll be really interested to see the change in the curb appeal of our block and our street, and it's going to be a lot of work. They said it's going to take 7 to 8 days, which is a lot of work. So we'll see. I feel bad for the contractors. They'll be out there right before Christmas-ish, mid-December. And they say they work year-round, so it's kind of our early Christmas gift to ourselves. But I'm excited. It's something I've wanted done. We just wanted to have a little bit more finances before we did it, but everything's going to work out in the end. So that's why the title of this episode is Siding Around My Soul. But anyway, that's been my 2 weeks.
My past 2 weeks have been extremely busy. We had our recognition of excellence for our kiddos last Sunday, and I thought it went as well as it could have gone. There was definitely some hiccups with it, and which is causing me to redo a lot of work that went into it, and just going to move past that and get that done, and hopefully it does not reflect on my evaluation, because that'd be really great. But I think that I think there's some understanding with that. This week has been crazy as well for me because so our work week starts from Sunday to and ends on Saturday. So our recognition of excellence event was last Sunday. I had doctor's appointments on Monday, and then I had to work late on Monday as well. And then Tuesday I had all day off, and I had another doctor appointment and voting, and I also had a tour of a new health and fitness center that's in the town in which I work in, and I will be joining that. It is a little bit pricey to join. The initial enrollment is, and the current price for the monthly membership is a little bit more than what I had anticipated it being, so I'm gonna save up my money for that, as well as the local radio stations. It's kind of like within a network, there's like 4 or 5 radio stations underneath this one media company, and they are going to be putting out a calendar, and it has coupons in it, and there's one coupon where it's for 50% off your initial enrollment fee, which is substantially what I would be waiting for. So if I can wait for the calendar, I'm good with that. So I'm really excited about that. And then Wednesday, had another late meeting, and then Thursday, another late meeting, and then Friday was a regular day of work, and then I had to work yesterday. So all in all, it's been really, really busy, but this coming week, I'm working Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then I have Thursday, Friday off, and all of that next week off, so I'm really excited. That's 11 days, and then that Monday that is after our Thanksgiving break, I have another doctor's appointment, so I'll be missing part of that day as well, so that's kind of a nice little ease on into work kind of deal. But all of my doctor's appointments have been going really well. My endocrinologist was very happy with my progress with my diabetes management. And then I had bone density scan, so that was really fun to just sit on a table and they take pictures or x-rays of your hips and lower back area. At least for me, that's where they were concerned. And then I switched new family doctors, and I'm really, really excited about that because I don't really tend to talk about it on the show, but Steve knows how awful my family doctor was prior to switching, so I'm very excited. She's awesome, and she gave me a lot to think about, and she said, I don't want you to come in here for your appointment, let's talk about some of the things. And then she said, what I want you to do is I want you to think about this, and this. And she said, and then we'll come back and we'll decide, the best care plan for you with what you want to do and what I can help you do. So I really appreciated that because I think, there's a lot of stuff that she could have just done, started off, but she wants my opinion on it. So I really am very pleased with that. So again, that's, if anything could have come out of this week as being good, I think that was it. And I'm really happy about it. So
awesome.
Yeah, good week overall.
Well, let's move into the knitting. What's taking a bow? I have something. I forced myself to finish it so I could show it this week because I need to mail them off here in the next few days. I finished Witch Hazel by Amy Christophers using Barocco Tuscan tweed in color number 9042, which is the Laurel colorway, on size 5 and 6 US, which is 3.75 and 4 millimeters. It's still a little damp because I finished it yesterday morning and decided to wet block it and soak it, so it's been laying out for a day, but it's got this lovely cable detail there that you can see with a lot of slouch. Now, again, mannequin heads are smaller than normal heads and way smaller than my head. I put it on my head and it was very tight. So I'm going to put like a small medium on the tag for the size to kind of help with distributing the hat. for our Operation Chemo Comfort knit along that is going on and will be ending in a few days as well. So I'll give you an update about that later in the show. So really enjoyed this. This used about a ball and a half of yarn, so I have another half ball, but I just threw that in with my DK and worsted weight scraps for that granny square blanket that I haven't really worked on in forever, the thicker one. So there's that, and so I'm excited to have that finished, and I will be mailing off 3 hats for our knit along. That's all that I finished this past 2 weeks.
I have nothing.
Okay, moving on to what's performing. So I'm still working on Tidal Shoals by Michelle Steed. I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Soliloquy in Sandcastle and our Showstopper Intermission in Raspberry Parfait. I'm on a size 9 US, which is 5.5 millimeters. And this is the top. I have a lot of ends to weave in. This is the one side, the back, and then I'm halfway through the second side. So I need to do another this much, and then I put another purple stripe in. And then this is like a wrap that gets shawl pinned. It will stretch out. It's like a vest wrap thing. So this is for Andy's mom for Christmas. So I'm excited to be working on that and have that done. So I'm hoping that will be done by the time we record next. We'll just see how crazy life gets and how much crafting time I get. Second thing I'm working on is my Rogers-esque cardigan jacket by Mary Townsend, and I'm using Barocco Weekend DK in color number 2144, which is squash, on a size 3 and 5 US, which is 3.25 and 3.75 millimeter needles. And I just started the back last time we saw each other, and I measured last night and I added a few more rows this morning, and I was at 10 inches from the ribbing to where I'm at, and I need to go to 18. So it's going. It's just a lot of when we watch TV, mindless knit, purl back, knit, purl back. So, but I'm kind of liking the fabric. It's dense, but not, it's got that cotton and acrylic content, so it's not going to be like overly warm, trap the heat in. It's very worsted, if you want to say that, worsted spun, but it, rather than woolen, it's not lofty with a lot of air. I will say that this yarn can be splitty. It is 3 significant plies that are just twisted, but because of that cotton content, the wool doesn't really latch onto itself in the plies. So you do need to be careful of that. I did wind my second ball this morning, so that's ready to go when I get there. The last thing I'm working on is Callie's Christmas present. But she knows that. These are my exclusive socks knit out of Opal Classics in color number 9067, which is exclusive. That's literally the title of the colorway, on a size 1 US 2.25 millimeter needles. And I did pick our rubber, and this also, I made my show notes last week without adding in here. This is Showstopper Intermission by Leading Men Fiber Arts in our rubber ducky colorway. And so that is the contrasting cuff, and it will be heel and toe. I did put in an Afterthought ripcord for the Afterthought heel, and I'm working my way down the foot. And this is the first sock still. So I was really worried the first couple rounds. I thought it was going to be like half black gray and half the striping colored, but it does eventually start to swirl and move around. So I do think that they kind of don't, however they dye it, it's not the same length of the colored section compared to the black gray section, so that hopefully it will move some of that pooling around.
I'm very excited for my socks.
That's all that I am currently working on.
Awesome. I am working on Steve's Christmas present of socks.
They may look somewhat similar.
Yes. And I have the first sock done, minus the heel, and I knew I should have not did that. Memento.
She's trying not to lose stitches off her needle.
I know. Funny story is that I actually went to find. Sorry, I'm gonna be very patient with this. I went to go find my other DPN holder because the stitch stopper by Gelby that I have is on my pair of socks, and I was trying to find this DPN holder that's made by Prairie Bag Works, which is close to us. I was trying to find it this morning because I knew that this was going to eventually happen, and so I found it. So problem solved, but not problem solved in time. So yay. But I just put in the heel for the waist yarn for the heel last night, and this is in Opal Classics and the Often Grown is something colorway, but I'm using the size 0 US. So it's coming along, and I predict that I will have these done while on vacation.
Yay!
So that'll be exciting.
So let's move into what's in rehearsal, what's going to be on our needles soon. So I feel like I need to cast something else on especially because I got a lot of flack. I went to open knitting at our local yarn store yesterday, and they started their new knit along last weekend, and I had been the one pressuring them to do it, which is a poncho knit along, because I was like, I want a reason to knit a poncho, not that I'm ever going to wear one, but if I have a knit along as an excuse. And so I even bought yarn that I showed off last week,
didn't you?
or last episode, for the for a new pattern. I was going to do the Easy Folded Poncho by Church Mouse Yarns and Tees, which I still do eventually want to do, but a lot of people are knitting the 14 karat, and that's... Sorry, the dogs are down here. Sorry if that scared you. They may still continue to bark. If anybody walks down the street, it happens. 14 karat, that's CARAT, and that is by... Oh, I hate the new iPad update. Hush. That is by Michelle Hunter, and it looks like this. So, if you can see there, it's got eyelets in the body, and then it's got that big diamond motif along the edge.
Oh, I like that.
Our local yarn store owner actually got a whole bunch of the recommended yarn in after it sold out during her charity fashion show, and I was like, oh, but now I want to do it out of the called for yarn because it'll give more drape. It's a linen content, and so you can kind of see here in some of these pictures. You knit it as a long rectangle, and then you seam like half of one of the sides up, and that makes the poncho. So it's just kind of one long stole, and then you fold it and seam it. But I'm going to be using the Madeline Tosh sock that I purchased last episode. Sorry, there is an whole family of elderly people who parked in front of my house to go to the restaurant that's a couple doors down, and that's why the dogs are barking, because they can't park in the actual parking lot. They have a parking lot for the restaurant, which is very small, and then they just purchased an open lot across the street that's like catty corner from my house that overflow parking can park at, but they can't park there. They have to park in front of my house. So
yeah, I was wondering whose vehicle that was.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think after so many years, we're pretty, like, I can be like, oh yeah, that's the neighbor's, like, random kiddo that sometimes is here, and that's the weird neighbor that has, da-da-da-da-da going on in their life. But, I mean, I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, quick catch and chewed.
That's people going to the restaurant. Anyway, so that's what's in rehearsal for me. I hope to get that started soon. I want to partake in it along, especially since I pressured them to do it. But it's just like, oh, I really want to get stuff done. I'm in that mojo, so...
I totally forgot one of my projects.
Oh, shame on you.
Sorry. I'm also doing a hat for our knit along, and it's the violet blueberries.
Violet waffles.
Violet waffles, thank you. But it's basically the waffle hat pattern. And the only modification that I did was I did the rib in the amount of inches, but then I added a purl row going around, and then I started the hat pattern because I thought it would be a nice little detail that, not that there's anything wrong with the regular hat, but I was like, oh, I'm feeling fancy. So I did.
So behind the scenes, what is going on with my spinning? I am still spinning Yarn Geek Fibers BFL and Sugar Maple, and I'm on the second 2 ounces, and I'm on the third of the second of the 3 splits of the second 2 ounces. Anyway, this is all I have left. So you can see the greens and the oranges and the maroons and the slight midnight blues and purples and some undyed areas. So I'm doing that as a 2-ply fractal, and I hope to have that done. I will have that done by the next time we record. I will know that. So that's still going, still enjoying that, and I look forward to showing you a finished skein of Handspun next episode. So, moving right along in our show notes, in the spotlight, what are we watching and reading? Excuse me, I forgot to write down the book I finished. I am watching still. I finished up The Strain. This season finale was a couple weeks ago, and I was a little behind, so I finished The Strain season 3. Enjoyed that. It was pretty good. And they kind of went all out for the cliffhanger as to where the story will go, so we'll see what next season holds. I'm still getting caught up on American Horror Story season 6. I think I have 1 episode left to watch from this week. And still enjoying Westworld. I think we have another episode plus tonight. And I am caught up on The Walking Dead. So they're starting to go back into the deep character development again. And I'm kind of like, snooze fest. Sometimes it's really good, but it's just like, it seems like they do something big in the beginning, a lot of action, and then it's a lot of individual character development, and then there's something big at the end when they all come together. And it's like you can only do that so many times before it starts to become predictable. I think a lot of people enjoyed the season opener because it was not predictable. And that's where they need to keep going, I feel, personally. But you know, it's just me. I was going to talk about what we did watch 2 movies. We went to the movies last weekend, Andy and I, at 10 o'clock at night to watch a 3D movie. It was crazy.
The world is ending.
Like, we're usually in bed and asleep by 10 o'clock. We were a bit exhausted afterwards. But we went to see Doctor Strange. And it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was a little bit different for the Marvel comics. But, yeah. So, we saw Doctor Strange. And then we also watched on DVR. We had watched this before in the movie theater. That was like the last thing we saw in the movies was Deadpool. So, it was on HBO. We recorded it. We saved it. We didn't delete it so that we can watch it. We enjoy it. It's funny. I didn't laugh out loud as much as the first time because I knew what was coming, but there were still several laugh out loud moments going on. So that's what I watched, and I will bring up my book if you want to talk about what you're watching.
I have not been watching a whole lot of TV other than just catching up on the DVR, which has been few and far between. But this past Friday, I went to go see with my friend Sam. We went to go see our friend Reggie in A Raisin in the Sun, and he played Walter, and he did a phenomenal job. It was a great production down in Springfield at the, I don't know if it's the Hoogland Center or the Hoagland Center. I always end up butchering it either way. But afterwards we went out for drinks, and that was fun too. But it was really great. And if you're in the Springfield area, I heard from the cast plus Reggie, they said that the Lincoln Presidential Museum that is in Springfield, that's really only like 2 blocks away from where this theater is, they are putting on Big River as a museum production. So that will be going on. And then I'm not for sure what they're doing for their Muni performances in Springfield for the summer, but there's some talk of some really good shows coming, which means that my schedule will probably be crazy and not be able to see them. But it was good. It was a great production. I think it's very timely for what's going on in the world right now. And I think that today's their last show. Otherwise, I would say definitely go check it out if you're in the area or visiting. So, darn it.
Books. I finished a book this week. It was rather long. 2 of the books I was listening to are long. Like 18 hours on Audible. But I finished Shift, which is in the Silo series. It's number 2. I had read the first book a couple months ago called Wool, and I had talked about it where pretty much there's a bunch of silos down in the earth. It's post-apocalyptic Earth where, the air is toxic and people live in these silos, which is like 150 stories down into the ground, and generations, it's been centuries since people have taken to these silos, and they send people out to clean when they kind of break the law, and they end up dying, but they always clean the camera so that there's a jumbo screen kind of on the top level where people can see out and see the wasteland and stuff. It's an interesting book, but this is the second in the series, and I'll give you the quick synopsis and see if it intrigues you. It says, in 2007, the Center for Automation in Nanobiotech outlined the hardware and software platform that would one day allow robots smaller than human cells to make medical diagnoses, conduct repairs, and even self-propagate. In the same year, the CBS network re-aired a program about the effects of propranolol, something like that, on sufferers of extreme trauma. A simple pill, it had been discovered, could wipe out the memory of a traumatic event. At almost the same moment in humanity's broad history, mankind had discovered the means for bringing about its utter downfall, and the ability to forget it ever happened. This is the sequel to the New York Times best-selling Wool series. So they don't give you a whole lot of what actually happens. It's a lot of the backstory of how it started, and how the downfall of the human race happened, and then it takes you up to a certain point in the Wool book that happened, but it's told from several different other perspectives, and one character in particular who was in the first book. So it's a lot of backstories and giving you that information, and I know there is a third one at least, and it may be a while before I check that one out, but that is interesting, and I would say, if you've got the time, the Audible is very good. I did actually enjoy the narrator in the first book. It was a female, though, because it was a female protagonist. This one was pretty much male protagonists. There's kind of a main protagonist and a sub-protagonist, so I guess one might say it was his foil, but I don't know if I would go that far. Anyway, I'm throwing around literary terms and you guys don't care. So check out Shift, and that's by Hugh Laurie. And that sun is coming in super bright from the side window. The one drape we didn't close. Anyway, Callie's just all aglow.
As usual.
It's her pristine personality.
I have not been reading really anything. I've been reading a whole bunch of stuff that I will be doing in January and February. I'm taking a professional development course on volunteering within nonprofit organizations. How it's for non-for-profit organizations understanding how to recruit volunteers effectively. So there's a lot of prep work before getting this done, and a lot of coordination of schedules. And I'm just going to throw it out there that this year has been crazy as far as keeping people on staff, and it has been continuously rotating. So we haven't gotten some of the scheduling that we should have done early. I'm not bitter about that. But it's going to be a great course. I'm really excited because a coworker of mine took it last year and she learned a lot, and I really am excited about that. And it's put on by the University of Minnesota, which they are like thebomb.com seriously when it comes to their extension services as well as their 4-H programs. Couldn't be happier. They are awesome. I can also say that about general Minnesotians that we know in the knitting world. We like you.
True story. All right, last thing in the spotlight is stash enhancement. I was good yesterday when I went to the local yarn store for open knitting, but the week prior, last Saturday, not so much. So there is a particular yarn line that is going out of business, and so my local yarn store took all of the yarn that was in that yarn line and discounted it to try to move it out of the shop. And so I decided to pick up 2 skeins of a particular base and brand in order to knit charity hats for next year, because I'm already planning for next year's Operation Chemo Comfort Knit Along. Yeah, we're going to do it again. By the way, this show was talked about in a local Wisconsin news station for the hat drive that we're doing the knit along that we're doing for them. So
Very cool.
so this is from Jarbeau Garn, and it's the Ragi Batik, and this is color number 1532, and this is 100 grams, 150 meters. It's 160 some odd yards. It's Aran weight, and it's 70% superwash. I'm guessing wool because it's ULL, and then 30% nylon. And I think it's kind of Noro-esque, great, long color changes. So I'm thinking hats. I already paired patterns with these. And then I got the same base in color number 1530, which is creams and blues and grays. And then the last thing I picked up last week is if you've ever received prizes from me, sometimes I don't even put in like a note. I'm like, gotta get this thing done, and I just ship off the yarn. So, and I'd like to have a stack of like nice little cards that I can put in and, congratulate people. So I started off this way. You may get one of these. I may move on to something else in the future, but these are from Hurdy. Our local yarn store carries a lot of their products as kind of the kitschy sheep stuff. I have like a spoon rest holder with the sheeps on it. I want a mug, but I need another mug, like I need another hole in the head. But they have mouse pads and coasters and things like that. But these are greeting cards, and it's a 6-pack. There's one of the cards, but they all look the same. They're just different colors. So figured those would be good for giveaways, and I'll put one of these in when I mail off my charity hats here in the next few days. So that was my stash enhancement. I need to be good, guys. I am just bringing in more yarn that I'm putting out there, and while that's fine for some people, it is usually okay with me, but it's starting to get to the point where I'm just continually bringing in yarn that I can't even fit into my stash storage. So I can't continually bring that in. But, I will here or there. But I need to be a little bit more cognizant of it. And it's hard when you want to support your friends and things like that. So, any stash enhancement for you?
I bought 2 bags. I also don't need any more bags. I actually gathered almost all of my bags to put them in a basket. So that way I could, kind of start rotating them. I'm not sad or mad at all at the number of Silver Shed USA bags that I own. But that number is creeping up almost into the 20s in various sizes. And
I don't think I even own that many knitting bags, and I've started buying them recently, but
I'm not upset about it. And you make a great bag. I obviously support you in that endeavor.
Leading Men Fiber Arts may have placed another order for bags this week, but we're really low. I think we have like one medium-sized bag left in our shop. So,
yeah. So I ordered. Okay, and can we just say I love the Grocer Girls. I do. We have talked about this previously. If you have been a viewer for a while. Okay, so what I feel like what Jody and Tracy do on their show is enable.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need them to cool their jets for a little bit because my wallet also needs to be a little bit not open so much, shall we say. So they mentioned a bag maker out of Tel Aviv, I believe. I think that's where she's from. But they had a coupon code, and I might have been persuaded, if you will, to go visit their shop, and I ordered a bag, so that's on its way. And then Instagram is also a downfall for me. Multi-crafter guy posted a picture of a bag by Daisy Girl Company, I think that's the name, and I'll put their info in once or next time when I receive them. But my college mascot was the beaver, and I've heard jokes up and down. There's nothing that will faze me. And so he put a bag on Instagram because he was at Vogue Knitting Live, and the bag is a What You Swatchin' bag. I think that's what the name of the bag is called. But it had burly beavers on it, so it's like beavers in plaid holding cups of coffee.
They're lumberjack beavers, and I don't know if I'll get them, but I may have requested that Anne make those for me as well.
So I ordered that bag because obligation, obviously. So yeah, I think after that I might slow down.
You don't think you've had too much beaver?
Again, nothing phases me at this point. So I'm really excited. But it's got a clear pocket so you can see
the beaver. I'm going to move right along. Let's move into a round of applause, shall we? It's fall, y'all. Knit Along is currently going on. We've still got another couple of weeks.
Yep. We'll end on November 30th. And we'll close the thread because that we will not have, I don't think our recording schedule will line up with us to do that right away.
No, yeah, because we'll record right after Thanksgiving, that Sunday, and then it'll be the first week in December that we'll record.
Yep. So it can be anything fall related, it can be color related, it could be I'm knitting a hat in preparation, cows, whatever. We're pretty open to those different explanations. If you use any basic Bleeding Man Fiber Arts, then you can enter your project twice into the finished object thread. Yeah, it can be any size. It doesn't have, you could make a little, mochi something, or you could do like 14 sweaters. It's whatever your prerogative is.
We also have our Operation Chemo Comfort charity hat drive knit along going on. That's only open for another 2 days, so I will be closing that on Wednesday morning. We ended it on November 15th in the hopes that all hats will get up to the contact person, which is Kelsey. Her information is in the thread. I don't want to just give it out on the podcast, but you can go to the Dramatic Knits video podcast group and look up the Operation Chemo Comfort thread. I've put it in both threads, I believe, her name and address where you can ship them to. They need them no later than December 5th, which is when they're actually going to do the donation. I know that they need over 250 new hats a month, and they are hoping to gift over 400 hats during the holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that we are at 101 hats that have already been committed to be donated. That has blown my expectations out of the water. So as much as I would love to say that we could do 400, 100 to have done a quarter of their expectation as our little knitting community and little podcasts, because compared to a lot of podcasts anymore, we're just a little speck on YouTube, and we're so happy for those of you guys that stick with us and want to tune in and know what's going on in our lives. But you guys who have participated in the knit along, thank you so very, very much. Yes. That being said, we will be drawing for 5 prizes, unless we miraculously get a push up to over 125 in the next 2 days. We will be drawing for 5 prizes, and I'm going to pull some high quality yarns and things from our prize pool that we have going. So we'll be pulling for those towards the end of next episode. And I'm super excited, and I already have my sights on next year's Operation Chemo Comfort knit along.
Yes. And I will be pulling some of my finished objects as prizes. So that also means I gotta wash them.
So let's talk about some prizes, actually. Back in September, we had the September Race to the Finished Object contest, and the person who won the physical prize did not get in contact with us in over a month. So I redrew for the winner for September's, and I pulled number 136, who is Mercantile 519, who we both know, and that is Nicole from Michigan, and she knit an army of Pokeballs from Pokemon. So Nicole, you've won your own copy of Chunky Knits by Ashley Little. So if you would get in contact with me and give me your mailing address again, your first and last name, and I know it's Drouillard. I know your last name because you are a featured designer. You guys remember her? Yeah, she's the one who won. She does a lot of awesome knitting. So she's very active on our boards, and I'm glad to gift this to her. So Nicole, just get in contact with me, and I'll get that out to you as soon as I can. October has been completed now for 13 days, but unfortunately due to the, every other week recording schedule, it is what it is. So we drew for 2 prizes. The first prize is our physical prize, which is a skein of Cascade Yarns Heritage Prints, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon in color number 12, which looks like that. And the winner of this was number 200, who is Knitter Chow. That's Kathy from Michigan as well. And she did a pair of pumpkin socks. So, Kathy, I think you have some new socks for next fall, if not earlier. So, don't mind the bright light, but these are coming your way. So, Kathy, please get in contact with me, Dramatic Knits, on Ravelry, first and last name and mailing address, and I'll get this out to you. Last but not least, we have a pattern from our featured designer, who is Laura Linneman. Lala Designs on Ravelry and one half of the Knit Girls video podcast. And we pulled number 216, who is Gigi London, and that's Jen from London, and she knit a pair of socks. So congratulations, Jen. Please get in contact with me, Dramatic Knits. Let me know which of Laura Linneman's patterns you would like that are giftable through Ravelry, and I will let Laura know, and she will gift it to you. So congratulations to all 3 winners we've had this week. That being said, we do have our November Race to the Finished Object contest open and going. It's going full swing like it does every month. I showed the prize yarn last week, and again, we have another pattern from Laura Linneman, who is so gracious to be our featured designer. So that's that. Do you have anything else to add before we move on to center stage?
Other than I will be updating the December knit along. It will be only a 1-month knit along, and then we'll start up a new knit along in January.
Do you want to say what the December knit along is, since we have not announced it?
Yes.
Okay.
We are going to do another toy knit along, Cal. We've done this in the past for December, and I know Steve won't participate, but I will. So it will start December 1 and we'll finish December 31. You can use any yarn. It can be any size of a toy. So again, if you want to do a mochi mochi and be like, I'm done with that.
Or if you want to do the big puffy owl, like Callie still has to finish.
Yep. I can admit that.
He's just blind right now.
He has one eye.
Oh.
He just can't.
He sleeps with one eye open.
I've actually really contemplated about taking him apart and re-knitting him. Because...
Or let's just make him a felted eye patch. Can we please make him a felted eye patch and have him be a one-eyed owl? Yes, I do. He could be a little mascot. We'll put him right back there.
Well, part of me wants to re-knit him because I did the needle size that the pattern called for, but it's like really open and you can see the stuffing. So I might just redo that, and I will put a knitted or
no. If you're gonna redo it, do it right. But if you just want to call it done, son, just make an eye patch. You could even do it out of fabric. I won't make you knit and felt something.
So many options.
You know, and then we can make him a little pirate hat. And maybe a little peg leg. And a parrot. An owl with a parrot. Come on, I mean, it's so ironic. Anyway, I'm getting too excited about this.
So, I just wanted, this is a little bit off tangent, but so when we went to go see the play on Friday, we were sitting on the end seat, and they had us on risers because it was in a different part of the center. It still has a stage, but they bring in the risers to sit chairs on so they can accommodate more folks. And so we were sitting on the edge, and they have, well, where the risers meet is like the bottom of where like the upper balcony is. And I went to go stand, mind you, like it's like a hefty like 3 inches between like where I stand up and where the bottom of the balcony starts. And I went to go turned my head and I totally smacked it up against the wall. And like I've got a little knot right here. Like it's super not visible at all, but like it has been a little bit of sore since Friday. And now more people know about this, so watch your balcony endings on that. But
Was that your way of saying you almost ended up with an eye patch?
I really honestly thought I was gonna get a concussion because it really, I smacked it.
You gotta stop whipping your hair back and forth because if you're going that fast, you get a concussion.
I heard something like I didn't know if I like if it was just me like stepping on a program or something, but like it was audible. And like Sam looked at me and was like, "You okay, bro?" And I was like, "Fine, walk this off. But if I pass out, I don't know if it's because of a concussion or I'm so tired." So I was like, and it was nice because she drove, so yay. But anyways, yes, that knit along will start December 1 and December 31. You can use any pattern. The only stipulation that I put on this is that it has to be characterized in Ravelry as toy, softy, or something along those lines. Like it can't be, something that it's not, if that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me, and I'd be more than happy to answer that. So yes, get your patterns lined up.
All right, we're going to move into center stage, which is all things Leading Men Fiber Arts. If you're leaving us now, we'll see you in 2 weeks. We hope you have the warmest of Thanksgivings here in the U.S. I know we're going to have family over. Callie may or may not be joining us. She's kind of flying by the seat of her pants this year. But we're going to be going all out, cooking, staying in our PJs. We have a 6-person table that we fill with food from one end to the other because we're not, gluttons at all. It's the one day we do that. But we kind of munch all day, and it's a nice, relaxing day. So, moving into center stage, first thing I want to talk to you about is our Thanksgiving sale, which starts next weekend. This is our 3rd annual Thanksgiving sale, and we're going to run it just like we have in the past. It's a progressive sale, and the coupon code is TURKEY in all caps, as it has been the past 2 years. So TURKEY. That'll be good for the entirety of the sale, and I will just change the percentage as the days go on. So starting next Saturday and Sunday, the 19th and 20th of November, you can get 10% off everything in the shop with the coupon code TURKEY, and then from there it'll go up. So Monday and Tuesday, the 21st and 22nd, it'll be 15% off. Wednesday and Thursday, the 23rd and 24th, which is Thanksgiving, it'll be 20% off of everything in the shop. And then finally, Black Friday and Saturday, which is the 25th and 26th, it will be 25% off everything in the shop. Finally, on Sunday the 27th, we will be doing free domestic shipping with the coupon code TURKEY. So if you decide last minute on that Sunday, I really should have got this, you can get free shipping on that item.
That would be convenient if that individual comes up, and then you can just hold that.
We do it as a progressive. So if you want to make sure that you get a certain skein in the shop, take the 10% off if you've been waiting and holding, But if you want to hold out till that Friday and Saturday and hope for 25% and that it's still there, go right ahead. Now, custom orders, we've done this the last 2 years. If you place a custom order of 5 skeins or more, and it can mix and match colors and bases, it doesn't matter, but it must be 5 skeins or more, we will automatically give you 20% off and that runs the entirety of the sale from Saturday, November 19th through Sunday, November 27th. So if you want a sweaters lot at 20% off, it's not bad.
I will be purchasing that.
I figured Kelly would probably order her sweaters quantity that she's been wanting. But, if you want to get 5 different skeins that you've been looking at, I will say this as well, moving on. So, again, that's from Saturday the 19th through Sunday the 27th. Coupon code TURKEY.
Twerky.
It's a turkey that twerks. Oh, man, we have so many good show titles. Maybe I have to switch it. I don't know. I'll keep it. Anyway, so that's our Thanksgiving sale. I will tell you that we are still going to do our year in review sets for the entire month of January of 2017. We will have full skein sets, so you can get one of each of the 10 new colorways we've premiered in 2016. Full skeins, we'll do that probably in our Showstopper and Show Stealer bases. We are still contemplating how we want to do minis. We don't know if we'll be offering the minis in a show stealer option or if it will be purely showstopper. And we're not sure if we're going to be doing 10-gram minis this year or 20-gram minis, which means you would essentially get 2 skeins of yarn with your minis. And we're talking packaging right now, and we think we might be working with the owner of our local yarn store to be incorporating some packaging for minis and possibly full skeins as well. So we're super excited about that. When I get more details and confirmation, I will let you guys know, but keep an eye and ear out for the Year in Review 2016. Speaking of our local yarn store, the last bit of news before I show you some yarn is Hand-Dyed Holiday, best day of the year, according to my local yarn store owner, is at Les Moutons Rouge Knittery in Bloomington, Illinois on December 3rd. That's a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We will be there as part of the Hand-Dyed Holiday. I will also be there all day to meet and greet and help sell and push yarn on people. Can be an enabler. We may have other guests in-house. I cannot confirm or deny that as of yet. And she's going to have over 2,500 new skeins of yarn coming in. Sorry, the light got really weird. Coming in the day before. So it's going to be a bit crazy where all that yarn's going to go. But there is going to be yarn from over 1,000 skeins of Madeline Tosh coming in. Hedgehog Fibers is new this year. She will have all 90 colors that Hedgehog Fibers has that dyes up. She will have Zengard Yarn Garden. Who else will she have? Sweet Georgia. What's the other one? Dream in Color. And maybe 1 or 2 others. I forgot to bring up the thing. But, yeah.
Basically, what you need to know is like everything that Kelly does is going to be soul-crushingly awesome.
Yep, hashtag soul-crushingly awesome. So if you're within driving distance of Bloomington, which is smack dab in the middle of the state, Springfield, Champaign, even Quad Cities, I would. The shop is pretty awesome, guys.
Yeah.
And it's going to be filled with yarn. It's essentially the size of 2 stores, almost.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I would even maybe drive 3 hours for this. I'm not going to lie. I think 3 hours is not... If you make a day of it and have lunch, if we get a group for Dramatic Knits that shows up, if you want to come, maybe we can go out and do lunch. I did lunch with a group of people last year. I don't need to be there all day. I'm not obligated by any means. I hear that there may be a knitting pipeline group kind of getting together for it as well. That's what I hear through the grapevine. I don't know. But I'm super excited about that. So again, that's December 3rd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. At Les Moutons Rouge Knittery in Bloomington, Illinois.
And if you are thinking about making the road trip but don't know what you could do besides, coming to the yarn shop, definitely message Steve or I. At least I know because I work there, and not that you don't, but there's a lot of little knit shops that if you're looking for high quality toys but are not super.
You said a lot of little knit shops.
Niche. So we have the Gingerbread House, which does all. They have toys and toys that are made in the U.S. and things like that. So if you really wanted to shop small, I guess is what I'm essentially saying. If you want to shop small, Bloomington has a lot of little shops here and there.
You could always go to the Beer Nuts Factory.
Yeah.
I know that's big in Bloomington. I've never been there, but great stocking stuffers.
Mm-hmm.
So
tons of local eateries. And if you get the chance to go to Kelly's Bakery, I'm just saying.
Anyway, check that out. You can check out her Facebook group, which is Les Moutons Rouge Knittery, and you could also follow her on Instagram. She is LMR Knittery 2, because she forgot her original account password. So you can follow her there as well, and you can always call the shop for more details. So, all right, let me show you what I've updated in the past 2 weeks that hasn't sold already. This morning, I updated 2 skeins of Ghostlight, which is our lace weight, 80% super fine merino, 20% silk in winter shrubbery. And the lighting's going to play weird with the sun. On box office, which is 100% superwash merino worsted weight, 218 yards, we've got Sprightly Endeavors. It's a very, very pale green with blue specks. Show Stealer, which is our MCN fingering weight base. We have Nude Scene, great contrast color for pretty much anything. On Showstopper, which is 75-25 superwash merino nylon fingering weight, we've got Tranquil. On Callback, which is 100% superwash merino sport weight, we have OMG Squee, which is one of our new colorways last year or this year?
Last year.
Okay, good. I don't have to dye it up for the year in review. But this is on sport weight. I had a custom order for that. So on Spotlight, which is 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon fingering weight, we have That Somewhere. On Spotlight as well, we have No Good Deed, which is a Wicked reference, Wicked being the musical. On Ghostlight, we have Raspberry Parfait. I don't know, that might be pretty. On Dramaturg, which is 100% superwash merino DK weight, we have Neon Pencil. Showstopper, Prom Queen. On Show Stealer, we have Avery. Showstopper, we have Citrus Splash. Now, could you see some fun thing knit out of this? I mean, come on, guys. Am I not selling you on a Stephen West project right here?
I was going to say it's very Stephen West-esque.
Scream Stephen West. One Lonely Skein of Showstopper Intermission, and this isn't a director's interpretation. It's very close to London Fog with a slight blue hint. I know it's coming up purple and the sunlight is just not helping. It's very close to a gray with a slight blue undertone. This was, we had done a new colorway called Fortune Teller as a gradient, and I had selected the intensity that I wanted as Fortune Teller, and then we dyed it up, and it was even mislabeled as London Fog because Andy thought it was London Fog, so it was too close. So I'm going to darken it to almost a charcoal, I think, is going to be Fortune Teller when I redo it. So this is one skein left if you want for heels and toes for Showstopper Intermission, which is a half skein of Showstopper. Did update one braid of fiber. I think there might be two of these. This is BFL Silk in Metamorphosis. And last but not least, we have a lot of gradients in London Fog. So this is on our Soliloquy base, which is 100% superwash BFL. 650 yards total. Each mini skein is 30 grams and 130 yards each. So that's what's been updated in the last 2 weeks that has not sold yet. And continually updating things. I've got a lot of back stock from the end of show season, so the 1 and 2 skeins that I can update to the shop. As always, you can put in a custom order. There's a tab at the top of our website, which is leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. We've had a lot of people putting in custom orders recently, so I think people are getting used to that function. If you'd like to see Leading Men Fiber Arts at your local yarn store, please give them our information. There is a wholesale orders tab on our website, and we would love to hear from them, and we can give them all their wholesale information as well. So we're continually dyeing wholesale orders on top of shop updates and shows and things. So we keep busy, really busy, but that's good. It's so good.
It's a good
I'm
problem.
so happy. Good problem to have. Anyway, we hope you guys have the most fabulous of 2 weeks.
Yep.
Again, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you to all of our veterans.
Yes, very much.
A few days late.
But not $1 short by any means. So thank you very much for your service, and we will see you in 2 weeks. So until then,
we hope you
knit something, try